friends, and welcome to today's class. For today, I have a set of blocks with me, so those will be helpful for finding a little bit of support and a little bit extra opening towards the end of class. So if you have a set of blocks, great. Otherwise, you can have a bolster or anything else that you like to use during your flows. So go ahead and grab what you need, and we'll go ahead and meet in a seated position on our shins to start. So go ahead and grab whatever support you have with you today, and just go ahead and sneak that underneath your seat, between your feet, so that you can rest your sit bones on top. Go ahead and hug the inner ankles together and find a nice tall spine. Rooting down through the shins, through the tops of the feet. Finding a nice anchoring through your sit bones, through the base of your pelvis, and then finding a nice tall spine all the way through the crown of the head. And then feel free to take a few deep breaths to really settle into your space, settle into your body. Maybe finding an inhale with a nice rise of the shoulders. On the exhale, you drop the shoulders down away from your ears. And maybe finding that a few times here. Deep inhale. Lift those shoulders up and in towards your ears, and then exhale. Settle it down. One more deep inhale, lift up. And exhale. Settle it down. Rubbing the palms of your hands up and down the thighs a few times. Just coming into your body. This class is geared toward releasing tension within the neck, the upper back, that general area where you could feel a little bit more stiffness, a little bit more discomfort. So just take a few moments here, maybe close the eyes, let the body settle just a little bit more, find a bit of stillness. Deepening your breath, slowing down the inhales and the exhales. And just breathing into those areas of tension, whether it's the base of the skull, base of the neck, across the shoulder blades, maybe into the front of the chest. And as you find a little bit more breath into this space, think of starting to pull those inhales lower and lower into the rib cage, finding a little bit of expansion left to right, expansion forward to back, front to back. And just finding a little bit more width with that breath. Pulling that inhale in every direction, and then exhale, really letting it all go, trying to start anew with every breath that follows. Trying to take a little bit of stress off those smaller muscles that might be working a little bit too hard for you. Take a few more breaths to yourself. Maybe resting the palms in one another, onto one another, to receive some positive energy as you start today's class. And then go ahead and blink the eyes open, or you can keep them closed. We're going to move through the neck for a few rounds here. So find that nice tall spine once more, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. And then nice and slow, go ahead and draw the chin down towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. Feeling that lengthening all the way from the base of the skull to the shoulder blades. And then go ahead and draw the chin over across the right collarbone. Feeling that tension change, that stretch sensation change. And then nice and slow, start to drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Keeping the neck nice and long, start to drop the head back behind you, reaching the chin up towards the sky. And then start to drop the head over toward the left as the left ear comes toward the left shoulder. Keeping the right side of the neck nice and long, and then drawing the chin towards the left collarbone. Taking your time here, feeling every little change as you move through this space, and then draw the chin across the left collarbone until you get back to the center of your chest. And we're going to do 2 more rounds on that side. So go ahead and draw the chin across the chest. Drop right ear, right shoulder. Drop the back of the head back behind you as you reach the chin up towards the sky, and then over toward the left. Keeping that right shoulder down and away from the ear, and then the chin goes toward the left collarbone. Draw it across the front of your chest. And then 1 more round. Lingering where you need to. You know where you're going, just kind of make it over toward the other side, however it feels good for you. And then once you bring the chin down towards the chest, let's go the other way. Dropping the left ear toward the left shoulder, keeping the shoulders drawn away from you. Drop the head back, lift the chin, lift the bottom jaw as you come over towards the right. 2 more rounds, nice and slow. Let it feel good, let it be pain-free. Trying to make the range of motion as big as you can, but comfortably. 1 more round. And then as you make your way back to center, slowly draw the chin up parallel to the floor. Deep inhale, bring those arms up and overhead, reach towards the sky. And then exhale, hands come through heart center. And move through the shoulders a bit here. So if you need to change your seated position, feel free. If it's a lot to be down onto the tops of the feet like this, you can always lift yourself up for a moment if you'd like to do that. Just kind of coming off this more compressed shape. Feel free. And then with that right arm, you're going to draw it across the body, palms facing towards the left side of the room, and you're just going to reach that right arm up and overhead. Palm facing the left side of the room, and then once that arm goes up and overhead as much as you can, start to spin the palm forward and over toward the right side as you reach that arm back behind you, keeping the chest facing forward, reaching those fingertips back behind you until the palm comes towards your right hip. And then you're going to go back the other direction, so reach the pinky side of that hand back behind you as far as you can go, keeping the chest lifted, and then spin the palm towards the right side of the room, bring it up and overhead. Over and across the body, and then back down towards your hip. 2 more rounds. Across the body, reach it up and overhead. Keep the spine nice and long. Reach that arm up and overhead as much as you can, and then spin the palm open. Reach those fingertips back behind you. Hand comes towards the hip. Reach it back. Trying to maximize the motion of that right shoulder. Bring it through a nice big comfy range of motion here. 1 more round. Across the body, up and overhead, reach those fingertips nice and tall. Reach that thumb back behind you as far as you can go. And then once you can't go any further, you open that palm up, you reach the fingertips back behind you. You bring that hand towards your hip. Make your way on back. 1 more round. Reach that pinky back. Reach it back. And then open that palm, spin it open, overhead across the body. We come on down. Switch sides. Left hand, bring it across your body as far as you can go, and then reach that arm up and overhead, reaching that thumb back behind you as far as you can go, and then open it up, clear that space. Bring the pinky edge of that hand back behind you. Hand comes towards the hip. Reach that pinky back as far as you can go, and then open things up, spin it open. Reach those fingertips nice and long the whole way through. Come across the body. We come on back down. 2 more rounds. Reach that arm across. Up and overhead. Open it up. Reach it back. Come on back down. Reach it back. Keep that chest tall. Spin it open. Reach for whatever's around you. Come on back in front. And down. 1 more round. Reach it across, reach it up and tall, reach it back, open it up, come back down towards your hip, and then come on back to center. Or come on back through center, back towards your hip. Wonderful. Both arms together, reach up and overhead.
Nice and long. Lengthen through the tailbone, reaching it towards the surface underneath you as the fingertips reach up towards the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the chest, maybe gaze up towards the sky. And then on the exhale, you reach out in front of you, round through the upper back, curl that tailbone underneath you. And then inhale, pull it in, heart center. Exhale, settle. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, gaze up. Exhale, keep that gaze lifted as you open the chest, cactus the arms. Exhale, draw those elbows in towards your side. And then go ahead and reach and round as the fingertips come out in front of you. Exhale. Inhale, pull it in. Exhale, settle. Go ahead and come up onto the shins, remove the block from underneath you. Set the blocks aside. And then go ahead and come onto tabletop position. Feel free to tuck the toes and kind of work your way forward and back, and take the next few breaths to just free up the spine. We stayed in that position for a few moments, a few minutes there, so feel free to find some freedom in your tabletop. Just finding some barrel rolls, maybe weight shifts forward and back, just kind of snaking through the spine. Incorporating every bit of the spine, don't leave anything behind. So all the way from tailbone to crown of head, and working through every segment in between. So feel free to tuck the chin in towards the chest, lift that chin up towards the sky. Work through your space, work through your being, open through the rib cage, through the shoulders. And on the next breath or so, find your way in towards center, into that tabletop position. We'll do a few rounds of structured cat-cow here. So starting from a nice neutral spine. On the inhale, lift the tailbone up towards the sky and ripple that energy through every segment of the body, engaging through the back line of the body as the chin lifts up towards the sky, gaze up. Exhale, round chin to chest. Pop up through the upper back, spread those shoulder blades nice and wide, tuck the tailbone at the very end, maybe in a little engagement of the core. Inhale. Cow pose, really engage through the back body, find a nice arch through the back line. Exhale, round. Creating space, open up, breathe through the back body. Inhale. Cow pose, use the hands to pull the chest and heart forward. Exhale, round. One more round, inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale back to the center. Toes can stay tucked or untucked, whatever is most comfortable for you. We're going to shift our weight into that left hand, free up the right hand. On the inhale, we're going to twist the chest over towards the right. Reach those fingertips up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, reach that right arm underneath the left. Reach it towards the left side of the room. Find a twist through the belly. Inhale, reach up, twist open. Try to keep your hips stationary as you can to maximize that twist through the upper part of the back. And then exhale, reach it through. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach it through. One more round, inhale. Reach it up. Exhale on that reach. Go ahead and reach that right arm underneath the left. Drop down onto that right shoulder, that right ear. Left hand can stay propped up by your face, or you can reach it out in front of you. Help kind of push those hips back in space, keep them lifted. Breathing into the back of that right shoulder. Take 2 more breaths here. Keeping those hips squared up towards the sky. And then go ahead and bring the left hand back toward your face. Press up. Unravel. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down to meet the left, switching sides. Shifting weight into the right hand. Free up that left arm as you reach and twist towards the left. Reach it up. Inhale. On the exhale, dive it down, reach across and underneath that right side. Inhale, lift up.
Trying to keep that right hip bumped back in space. See how much of a twist you can get through the thoracic spine here. Exhale, reach it under. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach it. Inhale, lift up. Open. Use that right hand to kind of create a little counter force here to help reach those left fingertips a little bit more. And then exhale, reach it underneath. Come down onto the back side of that left arm, onto the left ear. And then reach those right fingertips out in front of you. Use that to kind of press those hips back in space, just nudge. Find your breath here. Keep nudging that left hip over towards the left side of the room. And then go ahead and bring that right hand underneath you. Press yourself back up. Inhale, that left arm reaches up toward the sky. And then exhale. Left hand comes down to meet the right. Square yourself back off. And then go ahead and keeping those hips high. You can scoot yourself back on the mat if you need to. But keeping those hips stacked on top of the knees, go ahead and walk the hands out in front of you. Drop the chest down, coming into puppy pose. You can place the forehead down onto the earth. You can lift the chin, gaze forward, whatever feels more comfortable for you, whatever allows this to feel good. And just letting the chest sink heavy down toward the earth, letting the shoulder blades come together on the back body. Two more breaths here. Go ahead and start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. You don't have to be completely underneath the shoulders. They can stay out in front of you just a pinch. You're going to tuck the toes. You're going to lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So set yourself up in this space. Feel free to pedal out the feet. Wiggle the hips side to side. And maybe not for the intention of opening up through the hips, but maybe opening up through the rib cage, through the side body. Shift your focus here. Keep the focus in that area of tension. What does your body need to feel a little bit more open here in this moment? Trying to take a few more breaths to find your space. And settle into your downward facing dog, being energetic through the upper body, pressing down through the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand. Really wrapping those biceps in toward your ears, relaxing the head between your upper arms. Feeling that energy all the way through the shoulder blades, through the upper back. And lifting up high through the hips. On the inhale, lift those heels up toward the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Use this little compact energy to round and ripple the spine up toward high plank. Pause in high plank. Drop the hips, inhale, upward facing dog. Still pressing through those hands, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. And then exhale, bend the knees. Round and ripple, downward facing dog. Two more rounds. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple the energy toward your high plank. Involve as much of the spine as you can muster. Pausing in your high plank. Drop the hips, open up, upward facing dog. Maybe not the best class to wear a hood, but. And then on the exhale, bend the knees, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more round. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Round and ripple. High plank to pause. Feel that integration. And then drop the hips, open up, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Settle into your downward facing dog for just a breath. And then start to walk the hands back toward the feet. And just kind of letting the upper body hang heavy here for a moment. And then bend the knees. Press to the soles of the feet, round and ripple all the way up to standing.
As the hips come forward, the shoulders roll open. Inhale, arms up overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Find your fold, hinge the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, hips drop back, chest draws forward. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, ripple up. Hips press forward, shoulders roll open, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, come right back down. Inhale, halfway lift, hips draw back, chest draws forward. Lengthen through the back body. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ripple up. Nice and slow. As the knees straighten, the hips come forward. Open up, reach up. Exhale, hands come through heart center and fold. One more round. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ripple up. Arms up overhead. Hands through heart center and fold. Inhale, halfway lift once more. Exhale, find your fold. Slight variation of ragdoll. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. Otherwise, if you are feeling a little bit more tension in the base of the skull, feel free to lace your hands together, freeing up the thumbs, and go ahead and place that at the base of your skull. So the palms are holding on to the back of the head, the thumbs are at the base, and the elbows hug in toward one another, almost cradling your head. You can even give your head a little bit of a hug between the forearms. Just kind of lengthening through the back of the neck, not tugging or pulling, just giving a nice, soft, subtle traction that feels good to open up the back body. And let the legs be soft but supportive. Feel free to find a little sway left to right. Whatever allows you to settle in. So if it's stillness, if it's soft, subtle little waves left to right that kind of just eases you into your space, whatever it is, be there. And then nice and slow in the next breath or so, release the hands. Walk the hands out in front of you, drop the knees. Cross the ankles, bring your hips down towards the mat. And then go ahead and find the center of your mat. Bring the feet out in front of you, but the knees still bent, and bring the hands back behind your hips. And just allowing the fingertips to kind of point wherever it feels good. So it can be anywhere that feels comfortable on the shoulders. You can have your fingertips toward the facing your hips. You can have them turned out just a little bit. And I just want you to tuck them back behind you, and then just kind of start to bend into the elbows a little bit. So that'll kind of help you find what position of the hands feels most comfortable for you. So wrapping the shoulders out and open, and then bending through the elbows. Feel that opening through the front of the shoulder, keeping the neck nice and long. And just settling and breathing into this space, playing with the adjustment of the hands. Let it feel good. Let it feel comfortable. And then finding that hand placement that does feel comfortable. On the inhale, prepare, find a nice long spine. And then exhale, press and lift the hips, open the front of the body, gaze up towards the sky. Nice long neck here. Exhale, lower. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press and lift. Keeping those shoulders down and away from the ears. So still keeping a nice long neck here. Don't hide into your turtle shell even in this space. Deep breath in. And exhale, lower down. One more round. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, lift. Press those hips up towards the sky. Feel the opening of the front of the shoulders, lengthening through the back of the neck. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. And then bring the ankles, crossing them out in front of you, coming off the arms. Feel free to shake them out if you need. And then the last pose that we're going to find ourselves in, we're going to use the block, the bolster, whatever blanket towel you brought with you to be supportive. Just gonna find a nice heart opener to end today's class. So for me, I'm gonna use both of my blocks here. Again, you can just use one, make this a little bit more active if you wanna work through some space, but if you just wanna kind of settle in a heart opener here, stack the two blocks. The bottom one, have it on a medium height, the back one closer to the top of the mat. That can be on a medium height, or you can bring it a little bit higher if you need that support for your head. Again, find what works for you. But that first block is just gonna hug underneath the shoulder blades, just at the point of the shoulder blades there. And then you're to continue to drop the head down toward that second block. And if you'd like to have that head drop back a little bit more, you can make that block even lower if that's comfortable for you. But if you'd like to have a little bit of more support, just make that block a little higher. Listen to your body, do what feels good. And then those legs can be out in front of you, straight and long toward the top of the mat, or you can bend the knees and knock them together if you want a little bit more relaxation through that space. But again, be wherever you need to be. And just settle into this space. Let those blocks encourage a nice opening through the front body. And I did mention if you did have just a single block, you can make this more active. And by that, I mean just holding on to the back of your head. You can have your elbows hugging in, and it's just a matter of dropping the chest up and over that block. Lingering there, and you can stay here, or you can work through that space up and down nice and slow. That is the option that is also available for you. But whenever you get what you need out of the use of these props, feel free to give yourself a few moments to settle, to enjoy a few moments of stillness here. Letting the arms fall alongside the body, shoulders rolling open, palms shine up towards the sky. And really surrendering into this space. Breathing through any discomforts. Of course, pivoting if you have any true pain or discomfort in that capacity, but sometimes finding this kind of heart opener, especially with the use of props, might feel a little bit more intense depending on the extent of the tension that you carry within this space. So if it's just a matter of working through some extra tension today, giving yourself some grace, the opportunity to linger if you're able, but knowing and reading the moment where you might need to modify, give yourself a little bit more support. And feel free to linger here for a few more breaths, settling into your space, into your opening. And knowing that when you move your way out of these positions, take your time, give yourself a little extra boost getting out of these spaces. Sometimes coming out of a big heart opener can feel a little icky, so take your time, give yourself support as you need. As always, I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Have an awesome rest of your day.